The disregard in which Daniel Boone was held may come as a surprise. The United States, as the story is often told, was a buoyantly expansive nation from the start. Its founders had wrested liberty from an oppressive empire, turning subjects into citizens and colonies into states, and were eager to push their republican form of government westward across the continent from sea to shining sea. Men like Daniel Boone, it would seem, were vital instruments of that national mission. Yet Boone's path was strewn with obstacles. The British had set the ridge of the Appalachians as the boundary to white settlement, making Boone's journey west a crime. The end of British rule did little to improve Boone's standing. The founders viewed frontiersmen like him with open suspicion. They were the nation's refuse, wrote Ben Franklin, or white savages, said John Jay. George Washington warned, after the Revolution, of the settling, or rather overspreading the Western country, by a parcel of banditti who will bid defiance to all authority. To prevent this, he proposed drawing a settlement boundary, just as the British had, and prosecuting as a felon any citizen who crossed it. Washington's impatience with frontiersmen didn't mean that he opposed expansion. In the long term, he depended on it, both to strengthen the country and to profit from his western estates. The issue was the short term. The country was vast, but the government was weak. The United States wasn't the only country with claim to the land west of the Appalachians. Native peoples, organized as nations, tribes, confederacies, and other durable polities, had their own cartography, their own way of mapping North America. And, in the late 18th century, they could back their maps with force. This was the raw nerve Daniel Boone had touched. By hauling white settlers west, he was invading Indian lands. That meant fighting of the sort that might easily draw the United States government in. Squatters who rushed over the mountains were impossible to govern, and the wars they inevitably started were expensive to fight. Washington thus insisted that settlements proceed in a compact manner, under elite control. That way, the frontier would not be a refuge for masterless men like Boone, but the forefront of the march of civilization, advancing at a stately pace.